Hey, what's going on, guys? Good morning. It's Monday morning over here on the East Coast. Now, most of you guys know that I don't really do a lot of broadcasting over the weekend, so that's why I haven't done anything. I tend to spend that time with my family and my kids and all that. But I do pay attention to the news. I still stay updated whether or not it be YouTube or Twitter or, if I'm sitting around with nothing to do, I'll get online and start looking. Last night I was laying in bed and one of my subscriptions on YouTube posted a video, and this guy's very credible. I tend to watch a lot of him, and he shows the facts, sort of like what I want to do. He has the screen in the background with the articles where you can read it, where he's seeing it. And that's basically what I want to get. And obviously I don't have that yet, but he brought out a video last night, brought out an article I really want to bring out to you guys. I want to share it. I don't know if a lot of you guys know it. A lot of you guys may not know it. Some of you guys may. Especially if you've been following my channel. We've been keeping in track with North Korea and the movement with America and South Korea, Japan, China, Russia, everything over there in the Asian Pacific. But this came out last night. This article, again, I read it, or I heard it last night. And even last night when I was watching that video, I told myself last night that I'm going to have to go out and find this article and bring it out to you guys. Because it puts a totally different twist on things in North Korea. Now, we all know about, the speculation and the wondering if United States was to do a preemptive strike in North Korea, what would China do? A lot of people saying that China would actually, in fact, maybe help the U.S. Others speculated that China would actually be there to help defend North Korea. We know after the UN sanctions came about, it took China a minute, but they finally followed suit with the sanctions and put them on North Korea. So that kind of shedded a little bit more light into the situation that maybe China will help de-escalate the situation. And again, my last video on North Korea, we've done everything diplomatically. If you guys been paying attention, and this is pretty much mainstream, ex-president Jimmy Carter said that he would go to North Korea as a person from the Trump administration to try to talk to Kim. And I appreciate that, Mr. Carter, but I don't see that happening. President Trump is supposed to go over that way here soon for a trip. And he was planning on stopping at the demilitarized zone within North Korea. And I think that's a bad idea. And I'm not the only one. Especially with, everything that him and Kim's been saying. I can only imagine, they're definitely going to be keeping a close eye out for it. But this article, it sheds some new light from a different perspective. And the headline, this is coming from UK, Express from the UK, sorry. And the headlines is another missile test will mean war. Shock warnings of China Blitz on North Korea. A Chinese academic with close links to officials inside the country's defense establishment has revealed that China is prepared to go to war with North Korea. That's major. Only for the simple fact, again, we never knew what was going to happen. If we went and did a preemptive strike in North Korea and China got involved defending North Korea, that would definitely make things a lot worse. Not just in the region, but worldwide. It would affect trade for everybody, food routes, trade routes, the stock market, and even, it would escalate to a bigger military conflict than what really needs to be done. Now, with this article, again, they're warning, shock warnings of a military blitz on North Korea if they do another test. Now, this article states that the president, I believe it's Xi Jinping, in China, has come out and said that he's very upset with Kim and how Kim has been doing things in North Korea, and that they're willing to actually go over there and handle it. Now, you guys got to remember, North Korea and China, they've been very good trading partners for resources. China was getting a lot of its exports coal-wise from North Korea. And then just recently, China even come out and told, Chinese businesses within North Korea that you guys had 120 days to shut businesses down and get out of the country. Now, with this coming out and saying, that they're very upset with the way Kim is doing things, and they don't want to see a nuclear war on their back doorstep, and they told America that. Russia's even come out and said that a nuclear war in that region would be devastating. And China, of course, they don't want a nuclear war going off in their back door. That would affect them as well, not just trade routes, but it would affect life in China. With the refugee crisis, you can imagine that if there's a nuke that drops, people's going to be fleeing North Korea into South Korea. They're going to be trying to get over into China. They're going to be trying to cross the border. We'd have a refugee crisis, sort of like what we did with the Muslim community. So China's trying to really get involved now, trying to stop the situation. They told Kim that he has to stop, and Kim keeps on doing his nuclear testing and his ballistic missile testing, and it's upsetting China that Kim has not done anything to slow down. So China is threatening that if they fire off another missile or another nuclear test, that they will do a blitz war. They will invade the country. Now, a lot of you guys, think that's a good thing. And no doubt, first thought is that is a good thing. But, you got to kind of look at the scenario in a deeper aspect here when we talk about this, okay? Now, if China was to go in there and remove Kim and actually put someone in power to benefit China, again, you guys think the CIA here in America is the only agency in the world that does that? No, every country has that society, that agency. But anyways, they don't know if they would expect, China to go in and just take over the country and actually call it part of China, or if they would actually give someone leadership and keep it North Korea for their own personal gain. That would implement China's rule with China's thumbprint. Because in America, here they look at America as being over there. If we was to go over there, there's multiple situations that could happen. We could either do a regime change, which, again, the United States would put someone in power that the United States would benefit from. And it's also being speculated that if we did go over there and do that, maybe we would actually, in fact, unite North and South Korea. Just turn it back into the Korean Peninsula. And China don't want that. China looks at North Korea being its own sovereign nation. They get a lot of their trade deals with North Korea. Again, that's, if China was to go and invade North Korea, it would still stay North Korea and South Korea. The country would still be divided. I think, my personal opinion, I think that they should unite the countries and just get it over with and be done. But, like I said, that's being speculated now. If America was to go over there and do that, either we're going to go over there and do a regime change. And if we get sloppy with the regime change, you guys got to remember, in a whole, with North Korea, the way that they're raised, their ideology, their thinking, from the minute that they go to school, their very first school year, they are taught how Americans are the demons or Satanists. We go over there and we rape the women and children, and we're just killers. So the whole ideology that's being born, is being raised like that. They're waking up every day with propaganda against America. They're missile testing videos showing them blowing up America, American flags burning. That's the whole ideology in North Korea towards America. So if we got sloppy when we did a regime change and let's say we go over there and we assassinate Kim, would we actually just leave? Or would we actually stay and try to work on some sort of democracy? But then again, even after we leave, the whole ideology is still embedded within that country. You would probably have civil wars in that country. It would be very hard to bring a nation back after a nuclear war. or after any kind of war, especially after a regime like that. So you're battling the whole ideology. And then, you're also battling the fact that, if you do go in there, you could probably unite North and South Korea back to the Korean Peninsula. And again, China wouldn't want that to happen because they're going to lose out money. They're going to lose a lot of money with trade. That would in fact force China to trade with U.S. partners. Again, that's just speculation. But I'm going to post an article in this description, let you guys read it. Again, like I said, this is a totally different spin on the situation. A lot of questions are answered now, but there's still a lot more questions. And we might not ever get those questions answered until it's too late. So again, guys, just another piece of the puzzle. Stay tuned, stay connected on what's going on. If you guys hear anything, please message me, whether or not you're on my Facebook or my Twitter, or even just drop a link, a comment in the link, or just drop a comment in the video. I'm not awake yet. And then we'll stay connected. We'll get the information out there. Again, I'll post a link in the description. You guys can read it, and see y'all later.